Hey everybody, this is Fi. I'm checking out South Sectors. This is part of the AGDG Demo Day 20. This is a game that I had played before. I don't remember, it might have been the last demo day. It actually, from what I see in the screenshots, looks quite a bit different now. Not sure if it actually is different, very much I should say. I'm sure it's different somewhat, so we're going to try it out and kind of figure out what's changed and see if we can give some feedback here. So I got the game page open. It's not much written here. It just says a frantic, fast-paced survival FPS set in the depths of Rathen Wasteland, otherwise known as the South Sectors. Get up and personal as melee attacks give you ammo. Controls are WASD, shoot is mouse 1, reload R, melee is F, which gives you ammo on hit, and crouch is C. Alright, so I don't know if anything's rebindable. I prefer to use control for crouch myself. I never use C. But let's give this a shot, see what we can do here. I got the game open. I've not seen anything past the screen so far. Just a very simple opening screen. It's better than nothing. Looks like an endless survival, so this is presumably game modes that's going to be on this screen. Alright, so we're in the game. Oh, what the heck? Trying to see if I don't hear any audio. I don't remember if there was audio in this game before or not. Oh, there's okay. So they don't have audio. Well, that's very weird. Looks like we're getting some frame drops. I think so. It's very weirdly jerky. Some kind of a stutter. That's a little strange. I might want to just try, before I try and actually play here, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to close the game. I'll try a slightly lower graphics preset here. Relaunch it. Instead of fantastic, let's try good. Make sure OBS is hooked in here again. Is it gonna work? There it goes. Right? Alright, so let's test this out then. Still jerky. Wow. Very jerky. Strange. It's very jittery. It's like it's not really the kind of frame drops I'm used to seeing. Granted, I'm not really used to frame drops anyways, because I don't like playing games with frame drops. So let's go ahead and try dropping it down a bit lower. I'm not sure that the graphics presets are actually doing much even. Put it on the fastest, it looks like it's maybe even rendering at a lower resolution here. No, it's still jerky. Very strange. Wonder why that would be. I don't know if it's something about these normal maps or something. I have no idea. I'm not going to venture a guess because I wouldn't know anyways. So yeah, that's unusual. But wow, very floaty jump. I'm just going to go ahead and fortunately I can't hit escape to like pause or restart or anything, so I'm just going to Alt F4 it once again. We're gonna... I don't think I noticed really any difference in the graphics presets here, so there might not be any difference implemented. I just set it back up onto the highest one. I think it's about the same. But I'm going to try and play for real now, see what happens. So we got this machine gun doodad. Notice those guys just spawned completely randomly here. Okay, there's a little hit sound. It's kind of goofy. It's a little hard. It's like 1 pixel for your reticle when I'm... Alright, so it looks like there's a bigger circle that's a hit icon type of thing, which actually is easier to aim with than this little dot, unfortunately. Alright, so did I reload here? I still have ammo? Where is my ammo? Is it? Oh, I could barely see that. It's kind of weird. Alright, so they're just piling up here. Did I die? I can't. They're spawning way faster than I can kill them. I think I died again. Where is my... So is it the bottom right? Must be the bottom right. Oh, that's like a whole... Okay, so the number shows like how many magazines you have, apparently. Just what you get when you kill dudes. You seem to have quite a lot of life. It's not really obvious when you take damage. What is this? Can I get a different thing? Oh, it's like a... See, I like this. Alright. What is that? Oh, I can't... I use really high sensitivity on my mouse because I have very small... Shoot. Very small area for my mouse movement on my desk. I just don't have room. So I use really high sensitivity. Aiming accurately at a distance is pretty tough. Well. I think I died again. So yeah, there's not really a lot of breathing room. They just keep spawning and spawning and spawning. One of the big... Actually a little hard to talk just because there's so much going on constantly. One of the big challenges of making an FPS is figuring out how you want to do damage avoidance. Heck. What is this? Is that the same as what I have? Oh, that jump is super floaty. So with people shooting at you, it's kind of hard to, you know, the idea of dodging bullets, whatever, it's a tricky problem. It's not like in a melee game where you can kind of avoid attacks easily. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to approach that. You kind of have to figure out what you want to do for your game. But yeah, you really need kind of a effective way to avoid damage, which means, you know, a lot of times it kind of boils down to killing guys before they can shoot you, that sort of thing. But, you know, sometimes you have to do more than that. As it is, there's a ton of it. Now, I guess this is that thing. There's so many enemies right now, there's not really any way to avoid damage. But yeah, kind of fundamental issue you come up with is if you're shooting at them, then they can shoot at you. So, you know what? Aside from just killing them before they kill you, how do you make it work so that you can actually avoid, you know, taking damage at all? Ideally, sometimes it's not quite possible, but you want to at least minimize. You know, have it to make it a skill-based experience. You want to be able to minimize how much damage you take by playing skillfully, not just make it an endurance match. So, you know, you could study other games, kind of what they do. I think that's kind of one of the reasons why the whole recharging health thing that Halo kind of started, I guess, works well. Because at least if you do take damage, you can kind of minimize the effects of it by not dying. It's kind of the goal in Halo is to not die while killing things. That kind of works, but then sometimes you have to do more than that. Work with enemy reaction times that you can kind of have an opportunity to kill them before they do much to you. Especially if you want to push this melee thing, like currently all your guys just kind of shoot at you constantly, and they, it's obviously a very simple AI implementation. It's not going to be what the developer intends for a final kind of thing, but there's a lot of stuff you can consider. General movement, I mean, you can add some kind of dodging in the game if you wanted to. If you wanted to kind of push that, and you'd kind of have to work with the idea of the enemy bullets are clearly not hit scans, so that would mean they are technically dodgeable if you could move fast enough. The idea of just strafing around bullets can be kind of lame in my opinion, especially since it gets pretty difficult once enemies are kind of surrounding you, it becomes impossible, obviously. So if you want to have a lot of enemies at once, then that probably wouldn't work out so well, just pure strafing. Another thing a lot of games just do is obviously using cover, which, well, not even a lot of games, but some games do. You get cover-based shooters, and sometimes even if there aren't any cover mechanics, like sidling up against a wall type of thing, or shooting around corners and things like that, sometimes games can work well where you can kind of peek around corners like this and get off some shots. But again, you have to kind of design the AI around that for that to be functional. Oh, the left control actually works for shoot also. I was kind of trying to instinctively crouch there. But yeah, a lot of this comes down to the AI design, and a lot of times just building in a lot of things like pauses and reaction times, sometimes making their shots less accurate. I've considered before, and I'm not sure that any game necessarily does this, maybe it does, but it's kind of an idea that I've had, is the idea that maybe an enemy's first shots, like when they first see you and they shoot at you, maybe they aren't very accurate, but the longer time you give them to react to you and kind of set their aim well, maybe their shots will become more accurate. So with that idea, the idea of kind of surprising enemies and killing them before they kill you might work a little better. So that's, the sorts of things you got to consider for making a shooter work well. Movement's obviously pretty fast. There's actually a lot of air movement in this, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, I think you could work a lot with, especially because you have this melee attack that would suggest that you want kind of a lot of a movement-based sort of thing going on, where you could preferably avoid attacks and get in close and kind of engage enemies at melee range successfully without just eating tons of bullets in the process. So yeah, I think that mostly comes down to the AI, which is, I understand AI is pretty darn difficult to figure out, but yeah. You could, of course, figure out some other kinds of abilities if you want some kind of superpowers or something, like barriers and things. All sorts of possibilities. But yeah, as it is, it's pretty bare bones. It's rather different from the last time I played, for sure. I think there's a lot more dudes, and they all kind of crowd around you a lot faster. The fact that right now, it seems like you can eat like a whole lot of damage before you really die, which I think works for this demo kind of. I would consider making it a goal that you can, the game would be playable without being kind of a bullet sponge yourself so that you could, you know, the whole damage avoidance thing I'm talking about, if you could skillfully play so that you could only survive a few hits but still play successfully, I think that'd be a good goal to make so that you're not kind of balancing the game around the idea that you're just going to eat a whole ton of bullets, because it's just not very fun that way. So, yeah. This is quite silly. But yeah, I do like the idea of having melee, effective melee in a first-person shooter environment. So hopefully you can kind of figure that out and make it work well. I don't think it's been done a lot. I mean, there's obviously been a lot of melee attacks in first-person shooter games, but it's usually like a not a focus. You know, there's a few examples of that, and maybe you could, you know, learn from those. Halo kind of does it well, but it's sort of like if you get the drop on someone, or you get right up in their face with a gun, and then you like smack them at the last moment, that sort of thing. That's another thing you can work on, some kind of flinching effect for when you're laying bullets into an enemy, so that they're not laying bullets into your face back at the same time. That'd be kind of a way to suppress them, and, you know, it's another consideration for damage avoidance. So yeah, in any case, might as well wrap this up. I think I've probably said about all I can. I guess you can't actually fall down here. Oh, what? Where did that come from? But hopefully there's something useful in this video. If you have any questions for me, just let me know. And I'm gonna go play something else. So I'll see you guys in the next video.